If you told me 11 years ago that a breakup, an empty bank account, and a one-way ticket to Asia would shape the rest of my life, I would have laughed. Because back then, I wasn't a digital nomad. I was a materials engineer on a predictable path. Paycheck, MBA, boyfriend in Baltimore. But one breakup later, I found myself on a plane to Cambodia with no job, no savings, and no idea what would come next. That trip changed everything. Over the next 11 years, I went from broke and directionless to managing a remote team at Forbes while traveling to over 120 countries. And the best part? I didn't have to sacrifice my career to do it. In this video, I'll share how I built a career and lifestyle that lets me work and live anywhere. This isn't a quit your job and travel the world story. It's an 11-year journey from traditional engineering to managing a remote editorial team at Forbes. It's about financial sustainability, slow growth, and designing freedom that lasts. I graduated from the University of Michigan in 2013 with a degree in materials science and engineering. My life was on a predictable path: research and development engineer, then manufacturing engineer, MBA, management consulting, the works. I quit my manufacturing job for a short-term contract so I could have a shorter commute. In 2014, I was planning to move to Baltimore to be with my boyfriend. I even flew there to apartment hunt, but on that trip, he ended things. So suddenly, I had no job lined up, no boyfriend, and basically no savings. We had already planned a 2-week trip to Southeast Asia, so instead of canceling it, I extended the trip to 6 weeks and went alone. 6 weeks through Cambodia, Vietnam, Beijing, Bangkok. Hostels for $5 a night, private rooms for $12. It wasn't luxury, but it was freedom. And that's when something clicked. Travel doesn't have to be expensive. When I got home, I went to a travel hacking conference. That's where I landed my first freelance gig, helping people book trips with their points and miles. Then came writing articles for $75 a pop for travel blogs. It wasn't glamorous, and it definitely wasn't stable. But it was the first time I realized I didn't need an office to earn an income. In 2016, I had my first month where I made more than my engineering salary. 2 years in, and I was never going back. During those early freelancing years, I started an online MBA with Indiana University. I wasn't sure what my career would look like, but I knew I wanted to keep learning and keep traveling. The MBA gave me structure and credibility I could lean on if I needed to. In 2018, I joined Wi-Fi Tribe, a community of digital nomads living and working around the world together. That's when I realized this wasn't a temporary experiment. It was a lifestyle. By 2019, I was making consistent income, traveling slowly, spending 2 to 4 weeks in each spot, and feeling financially stable for the first time. I wasn't chasing countries anymore. I was building my own rhythm. That same year, Forbes reached out. They were launching Forbes Advisor, and they needed someone to lead their credit cards and travel rewards content. At first, I said no. I didn't want another full-time job. But when they said it was fully remote and fully flexible, I decided to give it a go. I became their first dedicated editorial hire, and I've been there ever since. Now I manage a US-based team, and I collaborate with teams across Europe and India. We work across time zones, and it actually makes us more efficient. That's been one of the most fulfilling parts of this journey for me, realizing that career growth doesn't have to end when you leave the office. Over the years, I've also earned my pilot's license, become a dive master, led a small group trip to Mauritania, and traveled to over 120 countries. Not because I was escaping work, but because I built a system where work and life can coexist. Here's what made it possible for me. Number 1, skills that transfer. My engineering mindset is a lot of optimization and systems thinking, and that became my edge. Travel hacking is just engineering for travel. For example, I booked a year's worth of flights that would have cost around $20,000 for only $2,000. Number 2, financial strategy. I never treated this lifestyle like a permanent vacation. I track my expenses, I use travel rewards, and I spend time in affordable places for most of the year. Even now, I live comfortably on $2,500 to $5,000 a month, depending on where I am, which is likely less than I would spend if I still lived in the United States. Number 3, mindset shifts. Travel doesn't have to be fast or flashy. 2 to 4 weeks, or sometimes even more, per destination gives me space to work, explore, and relax. And number 4, systems over motivation. I hire self-starters, build routines, and return to some of the same places year after year. Familiarity offers stability even without a home base. But my life isn't without trade-offs. Sometimes I spend hours figuring out simple things like where to do laundry this time or what products I need from the grocery store. I miss spending time with my family. My dog, Maisie, lived with my parents for years while I was traveling, and those years I only saw her a few times. She passed away last year, and that's time I'll never get back. But I wouldn't trade the autonomy, because success to me isn't a corner office. It's waking up anywhere in the world with meaningful work to do, people I care about, and the freedom to decide what comes next. If this kind of honest look at remote work and travel resonates with you, hit subscribe to see the real numbers behind this lifestyle, what I actually spend, how I structure my work, and the mistakes I make along the way. Because this isn't about Instagram perfect or escape. It's about building freedom that actually lasts.